are, but come on up and say hi because I know you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to know a little bit more about what you're doing and how it all came about before you get to the pumpkin patch. Euphoria, are you there? Oh, I'm
I
not
keep.
Oh,
sure we can
she's
hear
that.
her.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh,
Go
you can
ahead.
hear me? Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
I
yeah. Go
can.
ahead.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Hi, how are you? This
Hi,
is very
Euphoria.
cool. Hi, nice to meet you all. We had yeah, it's really exciting to be here and just curious to listen in and be part of this. So very cool.
Yeah, we were just we were talking about really quick Holotopia, that this was your brainchild, and we had, how many brands did we have in total? I think it
I
was.
think I think altogether there were probably 11 brands, not necessarily in the show, but just really in the spirit of love and non-competitive people who would normally be competitors were not competitors, and that was really beautiful and just a lot of crossover. But it was really awesome to have so many different participants and have them all just show up in their beautiful way. So it's really neat to see Web3 kind of come together in real life in this way, and see people who've been on stages and in real life and actually kind of involved in the show. So it was really amazing.
We were super excited to be able to be streaming that into the metaverse as well. And I want to say that everybody here really enjoyed the show. There's definitely a hunger for these hybrid, virtual, and in real life events. So kudos to you. It was a great show. We really enjoyed it.
Oh,
Tell
well,
us
we're really thank you. It was really exciting to have that opportunity as well, and I know people were super excited about it. And I think just really looking forward to seeing different ways to integrate with Decentraland, and it's really neat to see the metaverse integration in real life, in a real life show with that piece of it, and the streaming, and it's definitely giving a new life to how it can really interact in real spaces and what it takes to kind of integrate that with all the different people involved, and getting all the cameras and all that kind of stuff set up. So it's like a whole different layer. So we learned a lot, but thank you so much for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
We talked about immersive experiences, and I really think that it's adding layers of complexity to what immersion means, and blurring the lines between these two different worlds, and even more worlds. Being able to stream and have experiences in not just Decentraland, but in other metaverses too. And I heard somewhere that you were creating your own metaverse.
Yeah, it's definitely specifically related to fashion and runway. And so this is a great kickoff because I think the integration of live metaverse at the same time as the runway experience and showcasing all these amazing digital fashion brands and really giving people an opportunity to bring digital into the space at the same time, as what the avatars are wearing, as what the models are wearing. That would be like the next phase. There's so much that can be done, and I think it's really cool. I think with the Holotopia experience, really focusing on the runway is such a really amazing thing because it takes kind of a combo of Web 2 and then integrating it with Web 3. So I think with where it can go, we're just scratching the surface, and I think with the integration of seeing how it can be put into like Decentraland, having people interact with that, and then really getting it back. I think that next phase would be getting it back into a real a huge screen that people could interact back and forth with the people who are in the space, who virtually can't come. Is so much we had so many different things that could be done, and I think it's like you just have to phase it out. So we're going to have multiple events like this and try to really push the technology as far as possible. So it's very exciting.
Amazing. I love that. Now, the premise of the show is sustainability in digital fashion.
Mm-hmm.
This is a topic that's dear to your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. I came in from a world of architecture for 15 years, and I was a real pioneer in wanting to get the architecture firms having green departments. So this is kind of back when it wasn't cool. um, and so we started green departments in the firms and did that in buildings. So it's something that is very, very, I think, there's no room and time for us to not work together collaboratively. We all have to kind of use our own technology to bring it all together so that it just, I used to protest outside Pelosi's office and with the Sunrise Movement, and just people don't really have a way to care. And I think through fashion, through metaverse, through integration, and us all being leaders by collaborating, we create an ecosystem that gets people excited in a way that isn't really like, okay, come protest. Like that doesn't have in its own way sustainable methods. You can only go one day, right? But these kinds of events can really push the ethos and push the spirit to get people to be involved, and I think that's really exciting.
Super exciting. Um, It sounds like, and it looked like when we watched the show that it was a pretty big production. It must have been pretty challenging getting all of that together. And I know that Astrid too was saying like, "Oh, this is so challenging." Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh my goodness. Well, there's a lot of layers of complexity that if you go into like a regular fashion show, you've got the models and the makeup and the hair, and you've got the whole production staff that was running the engines to put on the XR screen, and then we had it streaming in the back music room as well. So there's the live stream that went back there. So you can imagine the number of I think there's 75 staff on board that just supported the whole integration of different people viewing things and so forth. So that was layer one, but layer two is like the digital, and Astor did an amazing job at just okay, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do, and really pushing the forefront of digital fashion and trying to get the pieces out into different platforms. And I think that I think we identified 7 layers, a 7-layer step to get a digital fashion item out into the world. First you have to create the garment, and then you have to upload it into this program, and then you have to export it into this program, and then all of that has to go after the 7 layers have been done, that each of the designers had to create. If we have like our ultimate version, that each designer has not only their regular clothing, but each of those garments would have a digital version that could actually be worn in different metaverses, for instance. So that there's probably ends up being an initial 7 layers that a designer has to have before they go on to stage, that are the digital layers, and then taking all of that and then uploading it and putting it out so it's viewable. So it's pretty crazy the number of steps of complexity that the Web3 layer adds to it. But I think we really nailed an understanding of what really mapping it out and creating a guideline for what all the steps are, and then what needs to be done to the next series of steps to get it out. So we're putting it all together in a documentary that could be viewed in different metaverses, for instance. And that's kind of the way that is the next rollout.
This is incredible. So cool. Astrid, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say we have so much content, and we were just talking this morning about how, during Metaverse Fashion Week, I think we should have like a viewing party or something, because there's so much content and just like behind the scenes. And, we had DressX there, we had 010 app there. There was so much going on that it was hard to get, all that focus on each of the partners that we had. So we really want to create, this documentary that Euphoria is talking about, and that, highlights all the partners that were there and present and participating.
I think that's a great idea. I certainly would be interested in watching something like that. The whole show was, I mean, what was it? Maybe like 3 or 4 hours long, but you can so much work went into it. I'd love to see that spotlighted, not just each and every designer, but also the process. Like you're saying, I never really thought about it being 7 layers before they get there, and that's intense.
Was intense.
Hey
Um,
JJ, I see JJ in the audience. If you wanted to bring her up, she was a huge integral part of the show.
Hey JJ, I'm gonna invite you up to speak. I'd love to hear more about your experience with the show as well. And hello everybody that's in the room. A lot of people have joined. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming by.
And Euphoria, please don't hesitate if need to um, pop in and out. Just don't. I know it's a Sunday with your
Yeah, it's okay.
family, so.
Thank you. It's really nice to be here, though.
Hey everyone, how are you
Hey
guys?
JJ,
What's up?
Welcome.
Thank
how's it
you.
going?
It's going so good. Thank you so much for having this space, Astrid and Tink Poco. It's awesome to see you. Euphoria, what's up, girl? Oh my gosh, you guys, Holotopia was mind blowing, and I cannot wait for you guys to see what we're making. I think so. Euphoria, did you already talk to them about it?
We want to hear from you too.
Yeah, definitely. Please.
Yeah, I mean, we're just like so stoked because one of the things that Euphoria said whenever she initially called me to propose this whole idea of Holotopia was, if you could do anything to make events better, what are some of the things that you would do? And one of the main things that I said is, I would love to be able to give people, some more creative and solid actual deliverables after the event, right? There's so many events that we have where, like, we go and there's the excitement of the event and everything, but there isn't like much that lasts afterwards sometimes. And so this time we are delivering some incredible things for everybody involved, and it's just going to get bigger and better. Everyone is going to have their own content packages to use as they please. And I think it's really setting the tone for this incredible system for people to, come into the event and then leave with something that can actually help really catapult their career even further. So we're doing a bunch of interviews for people that were involved, and a lot of really fun things to come. And so definitely excited for the next one because I can just feel, that we have worked out a lot of the things that we needed to figure out for there to be a good system for this, and now it's just going to get better and better.
I love what you're saying about giving people a content package to leave the show with, because I have found that as well, that when we put on an event, we have like a few Twitter posts and, a little bit of social media, but it's really, really scattered. And of course, everybody's busy, so you don't have time to make these kind of content packages for yourself, and things get disappeared and lost. And then 3 months later, when you want to try and promote yourself, it's like you're scrambling for these assets. So I think that's an incredible service to offer people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the way that Raven and Euphoria have been structuring it is where it's not just a content package for yourself, but it actually names every single model. It names all of your producers, all of your photographers, anybody involved, so that people are able to give credit where credit is due. There's so many times where, like, all of these amazing people are involved, but maybe just the hosts will receive credit. We want everybody getting their credit. So there's not going to be any excuse for, like, oh, I didn't know who to tag. Like, no, you're going to be given a package that gives you everything that you need.
That's awesome. Incredible work. That's great.
Yeah, and it was just such a fun team too. It's something really special where we took the time to kind of we took the time and we took the path less traveled where, it was a little more work, but we, took special things into consideration. I mean, we're even interviewing the models that were involved and seeing, what advice they have for other models. We're interviewing the production team from that perspective, because there are so many different demographics at play here, and we want to cover each element of that. So yeah, I'm just excited to build this like framework so that we can continue to use this for, all of the events in the future.
I'd
Yeah.
love to know a little bit about your background and how you got involved in all this, JJ.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have had a background in event production before I got into NFTs and things like that. And Euphoria and I met during the NFTS Tips days, where we were all in Clubhouse just figuring out what the heck was going on with NFTs. And, we would be in there mentoring and learning, and there was, opportunities for us to kind of get a glimpse into each other's character, and we found that connection where it's like I see a lot of synchronicities, and how can we work together to do something special. And so she invited me in, and she said, if you could do anything, what would you do? And I'm like, oh my gosh, well, if I could do anything. I mean, when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a fashion designer, and I would like doodle little bikinis and everything. And so she's like, okay, JJ, you're not just working production on this one. You are coming in as a designer. And she really pushed me to create a collection. And my daughter and I worked together on it. My daughter was like my amazing little seamstress, and she's 15, so she's not like that little, but but it was so cool because it was an opportunity for her and I to work together. And because Holotopia was all about the sustainable development goals, we decided to do like part of it was like a closet revamp. So I took things like, like I had this ball gown that I always loved the textile for, but kind of like the dress itself just wasn't that great, but the material was amazing. So we took that apart, and then we created different pieces with it, and just pulled all kinds of textiles that we already had, and we were able to reuse and turn into something new. And and then the name of the brand is Fly, so it stands for First Love Yourself, because one of the things that I have learned along my journey of showing love and, wanting to be that force of love is that in order for you to do that in a healthy manner, you first really have to find that love within yourself. And like, not that like superficial narcissistic love that's like, oh my gosh, I love myself so much. It's like, it's more like, hey, like, I love myself. When I look in the mirror, I feel good. I feel worthy of love. I feel like I am special, and I am someone that other people can love as well. And so the idea behind the collection was to give people that feeling when they put the clothing on. And it was like this thought that I had, but it wasn't until we were there live at Holotopia, and I had the models there, and they were all doing their fittings, and they would put on the outfit, and like their face would just light up, and they were so excited about it. And then it just like really set in, and I'm like looking at Astrid and Euphoria, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, I think I'm hooked. I'm hooked on making people feel that. Like, let's do more of that. So, yeah, it's like a little brief, summary of kind of where we started and how we, brought it to this. It's really cool.
Such an amazing collection. Oh my gosh. It was really, I mean, and the models, they all were like, can we buy this? We want this. Like, they were absolutely enthralled. Like, they loved it so much.
I didn't even know what to say. I was
Is
like,
there a link or sorry, please go ahead.
I'm just thinking when they were saying, can we buy this? I'm like, wait, am I like selling clothes now? Is this really happening?
Is there a link or something that we can pin here so that the viewers here can take a look as well, if there was nobody at the show?
So I am currently working on building out the social media, but there's a ton of stuff we've been reposting on Twitter.
Great.
And yeah, so we're kind of like we're kind of like baby leaking content a little bit so that people can at least get that, satisfaction of seeing some stuff. But we are working on a bigger piece of content that, when this goes out, it's going to have so many messages attached to it. The sustainable development goal that I lined up with was good health and well-being. So SDG number 3. And, I think you guys will love to see how we're going to connect, all of the different artists with their sustainable development goals and show their collections through that light.
I think what's exciting is that I can really hear the passion in your voice when you're talking about it, which is, to me, that means so much. It sounds so authentic and so genuine. You can really feel what a life-changing thing this was for you. I mean, in a way, it kind of made your dreams come true, right? And then to be able to share this experience with your daughter, amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was just so magical because I have loved my job in a sense where I'm able to put other people in the spotlight and like give them those moments to really broadcast the things that they're doing. But I haven't really like put myself up on that pedestal. And Euphoria really pushed me to do it. Astrid helped so much along the way too. They're like, girl, you're going to do this for you. Like, stop worrying about other people's stuff. And then before I knew it, my daughter is like walking down this beautiful runway with, she was this little sheet ghost character that she created. And the whole story behind the sheet ghost was that, like it's okay to kind of like hide, with your fashion at first so that you can work yourself into that confidence of like feeling good. And like she has this sheet ghost that will, it like covers her face. But then the whole story is that the sheet ghost gains the courage to take off the sheet and just go around as themselves once they have found that self-love. And so having her open the show was like, it was just so special to me. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but, just a couple years ago, I was in the hospital with stage 4 cancer. And I didn't know, what, I felt like I knew I was going to make it, but there was that question, and the doctors were like, this really doesn't look good. And to like look at them now and be like, oh yeah, we'll check out this awesome runway show I just did, and like I'm still pretty alive, I'm feeling pretty alive. So it's just so funny to think like how much your life can change.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that story with us. That makes it even deeper. Astrid, I know that you also had a life-changing moment. You designed your first piece with Sylvia Heisel, right?
Yeah, that was a collaboration piece with an incredible fashion designer named Sylvia Heisel, and she 3D prints fabric. So basically, these are 3D printed dresses. She did ship out 3, so we could show 3 of her looks, on the runway and everything. And then the collaboration piece was, I said, hey, Sylvia, would you like to collaborate on a piece? I'm not a designer, but I really love what you do. And she said, you know what, I have an idea, because she had been working on something and she tweaked it, modified it, and made it like exactly what, both of us kind of envisioned. And she's a conscious creator, like big time. Like she's very much it's important to her that her couture is, sustainable, and that, it's made out of one material, and it's recyclable, and it's really incredible stuff. And her vision is to have, when you go to the Oscars, walking the red carpet, you are in fashion that is sustainable, and it is gorgeous, but not only gorgeous, but sustainable, and not, and has many of the sustainable development goals in mind, actually. So that was really, yeah, it was something like, JJ brought me into this Holotopia and had me meet Euphoria and everything kind of a little bit later in the stage. But, like what you were just saying, Tang, I mean, it was so genuine and so inspiring that like it really like I got teary like a lot, many moments. I was like, this is so beautiful because and like when JJ was explaining how her daughter Apollo was involved. I mean, I was on the phone with her many a time when and Apollo was sewing and like putting looks together. I mean, it was just so beautiful. I have to say that the whole experience was amazing. It really was. And right now we're working on the digital. We did have a digital look. Oh Snowy was actually the digital designer for that collaboration dress, Meta Fashion House Heisel, and she created something really beautiful with Clo 3D and in Cinema 4D. But she's actually animating the whole thing right now. So, we're kind of putting things out in steps and layers, like Euphoria was saying. Like, there's still more to come. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually going out to Brooklyn Fashion Week, which is the 13th. I had met the producer of the Digital Fashion Week in New York, and we kind of connected really well. And we'll be bringing Hans's mannequins out to be yet in another fashion show, so that'll be fun. We're gonna chip mannequins, so we're gonna have each in the mannequins, and which will hopefully, if all goes well, we'll have the augmented reality embedded in them, as well as all the information about Hans and everything. And it's exciting what's happening. It really is.
You have so many things on the go. We need to get those Hans mannequins into the Meta Fashion House too.
Yes, I know. That's I have to talk to somebody about modeling those and putting them as, maybe just permanent fixtures in there kind of thing. Or
Yeah, I think so. That would be cool. That would be cool. Or change them up every once in a while. You can change their
yeah,
stance.
exactly.
It would be so cool if he did one that had like the different sustainable development goals on it, like a Holotopia one that just like focused heavily on all those premises. So talented.
That's a really good idea. He's actually working on 2 new ones right now. He just sent me a picture of like the blank slate. And that's a good idea.
You guys, I'm so proud of us. Like we pulled through and created something so special. Like this is going to be huge because it's so important to focus on the sustainable development goals. I think a lot of people, when we think sustainability, yeah, we think about like the materials we're using and are we recycling, but there is so many layers of sustainability that are there to access. I mean, you guys heard I picked number 3, which is good health and well-being. Like there's so much you can tie that to. And even if you're still exploring, number 17 is all about partnership for the goals. So maybe right now you're just able to align with someone else that's focusing heavily on sustainability while you're working your way into becoming a more conscious creator. And I think it's so important for people to realize how accessible it is. So, yeah, actually, Tang Boko, I can send you the link for the Sustainable Development Goals, and people can check them out. There's a bunch of contests happening. Like BitBasil is doing a huge crypto art for impact challenge right now. They're letting people enter and potentially win a trip to Miami Art Basel or have their art showcased during the Scope art show at Basel, which is like a huge art show on the beach. So definitely, if you guys are interested in getting involved, go to BitBasil's Twitter. I think it's BitBasil Hub, and go to their Discord, and you guys can get involved too and have that opportunity.
Yeah, that's such a good idea. I forgot how to pin tweets up here. But
Me too. Simple, help us.
I was gonna pin the Holotopia website too, but
if you can, just DM it to me and I'll pin it.
okay, will do.
Thank you, Sin. Thank you so much for coming and talking with us today, JJ. Amazing.
It's my pleasure, man. Astrid has been my girl for the longest now. We've definitely been through some things. So when she's like, I'm doing a room, I'm like, all right, let's go.
My girl. Oh my God. Yes, this has been an amazing experience. And I'm so happy to bring, you know what? This is like really special because these are Decentraland like friends with my, with friends that I've had since the NFTS tips days, like JJ was saying, and to bring everybody together is really cool.
And you guys, if you don't know, Astrid is like a complete badass. Okay. So don't get her involved in your stuff unless you really are ready to make things happen. Because when you say something, this girl runs with it and she gets it done. Like I'm telling, there's been so many times, like, NFT NYC, she came through and she had these incredible photos signed for us and autographed through the Fangage app. And, she's been an amazing contribution to NFT Girls. And I have watched her bring so many people into the metaverse and walk them through step by step. I mean, I've seen her help so many people with their projects and with just understanding how to navigate the space. And then at the same time, she's just been such a wonderful friend and, support system too. So make sure you guys follow her. And, when you want to make some things happen, she's your girl.
Absolutely. That's been my experience with Astrid too. She's a total badass. I think we sat down one afternoon and kind of randomly talked about an idea that we had, and then 2 weeks later she came at me with like, here's the plan and we've got these people interested and these people interested. It was mind-blowing, super super impressive. So Astrid,
Oh, you guys. Oh man,
we've wanted to
I
have
love
you
you guys.
we've wanted to showcase you on this space for a long time now, and now I think you're co-hosting, but I'd really like to turn the tables a little bit and shine the spotlight on you and ask you, how you got involved in digital fashion, in Web3, and in the metaverse.
Oh wow, yeah. First of all, I'm humbled. I love you all. Oh my gosh, JJ, you're super blessed to know you, and I consider you one of my best friends, if not my best friend. So I love you.
Oh, likewise,
But I got into, this has been almost 2 years now. I think this January will be 2 years in the Web3 space, learning, basically getting into all different aspects. I think Matt was in here earlier. I, met Matt and of Drip Society, basically, Banquet Labs, and he kind of pushed me a little bit to come in, and I've been writing an article actually, and we connected, and just things kind of, I kept meeting different people in different areas, and when I was asked to help a brand come into Decentraland, I said, you know what, I can do this. I can help this brand because I understand now what brands, what will help them, how this will be successful for them, why it makes sense in a sustainable sense too, because this was actually a sustainable beauty brand who was really passionate about, at first it was kind of like, I need to be the first, I need to be the first, I need to be the first. And then it became, oh, okay, I get it now. It needs to be meaningful. It needs to, I'm going to create this NFT collective, and I'm going to support Latinx beauty entrepreneurs, and I'm going to make it, something lasting. So that was like really important to me with everyone I talk to. It's really important to me that whether it be an artist or a brand, that they understand a little bit about how it can benefit their legacy, B, sustainability in terms of, these are things that we can do to create and better our life on Earth, basically, and wow people and create an ecosystem where we have these fans that, just love what's going on, and and are dedicated to the cause. And the cause could be, there might be a piece of charity involved, and it might be something, you know, that's near and dear to your heart. And I really, you know, when JJ and Euphoria brought me into this, you know, my brain is always like in hyper mode, like, okay, how do we get this done? How do we get it done? And they kind of like, when Euphoria talked to me on the phone the first time, and she was like, well, what do you really want? Like, what do you want? And I've never been asked that before, really. Like, I had to kind of slow down and say, okay, what are my, you know, life goals, and what do I want to accomplish? And it really made me think, like, these are genuine, like, this is a genuine group that really cares. And it made me have pause in my own kind of life. And so, yeah, I'm really, really, really grateful that I became involved with everyone in Holotopia, because it was really life-changing. And but to go back to how I got involved in fashion, just you know, creating the first piece was Aluna, of Aluna George. She's the EDM singer, DJ. She's an amazing person. She's a singer, and she's also a fashion designer. She designs her own clothes, and she had wanted to have these headphones produced and have them create an experience for her fans to be able to listen to her song that was coming out. I think it was with Diplo, and so her fans could hear the song like a month early. And so that was like the big piece of kind of catapulting into the Decentraland world. And then, excuse me for 1 second. I had to drink some water. Sorry, guys. So that was like the first big experience. Then it was like Metaverse Music Week. And then, you know, things just kept happening. And then I knew I've always loved fashion. And I gave myself a goal of building a boutique. And my original idea was to have an easy experience for brands to come into the metaverse, have a shop all set up for them. And it was kind of like a turnkey, you know, if you have these, you know, 3-4 looks, we can put them into Decentraland, we can put them in the boutique, we can have a party, we can have, you know, all kinds of, we can even have a catwalk like experience, fashion show. And that was the idea. That is the idea still behind, you know, Meta Fashion House, to have a place where boutiques can come in fairly easily and just, you know, put up their NFT artwork or any kind of artwork, and their, you know, GLB files, which is all the wearables and things like that, and that's it. And then we can port back and forth, because I have actually have two other spaces, one in spatial, well, a few in spatial and a few on cyber. So those are two other, you know, experiences that are more, I guess they would be easier for, let's say, lots of people to come in easily who may not have a MetaMask, for example. So anyway, just kind of pushing forward. That's my story. Next week, or in 2 weeks, I guess. Actually, no, it's in a week, is Brooklyn Fashion Week, so I'll be there. Matt was in the room earlier. I'm hoping to meet up with, I'm really hoping, I think Kid Super is in Paris right now, but I'm hoping that I want to go visit his studio, atelier, warehouse in Brooklyn as well. So that's one of my goals. And to get great content and to show off, we'll have Hans's mannequins there, and we'll have like an AR exhibit as well. So bringing that digital experience. So it should be cool.
We're going to have you back to tell us all about what happened in Brooklyn for Brooklyn Fashion Week.
Yeah.
You can be like our reporter, Astrid, our girl on the street.
You know what's funny? And JJ, I didn't tell you this in Euphoria, but I talked to the photographer and the videographer, and, you know, I kind of half jokingly said, hey, you guys should come to New York. And they're like, we're on it. We're coming. I was like, really? Okay. So they want to come and try, you know, I don't know if they're actually going to come, but they said, sure, we'll do it. So we'll see, you know, it's kind of like a team effort here.
That's great that everybody wants to be so involved. One of the things that I noticed from what both you and JJ said was that it was Euphoria who stopped and asked you to think, what do you want? I think that's a pretty cool thing to do, to stop and ask the people around you, what do you want? What dreams do you have that I can make come true? So, Euphoria, kudos to you for doing that.
Oh, thank you. Now, these girls, first of all, not only were we all producing the show, but in the show at the same time as coordinating all the people. I've never seen two girls just work their butts off and do an amazing job. And there were so many different hats, and I was just like so full of love. Everybody there was like just high on like the collaboration and how much we all got along so well together, and they're just amazing, and like it just makes you tear up because you're like, okay, these people are like, they would not have happened without these two girls, like it just would not have. And it was amazing. And Raven, oh my god, like he just, every single person was so professional and took all their NFT experience and their metaverse experience and like brought it, and sustain and passion for sustainability, and just and then passion for Decentraland. Like she just, Astra just had so many amazing things and was spreading the word, and it was beautiful. It was like really monumental. Where there was no drama, it was just all like everybody, all hands on deck, whatever needed to be done got done. And that's, to me, sustainability at the core is like people who actually care and who want to work with each other and just have an amazing time. So I think at the core of it is like just love and bringing this space. And I was just more, words can't even express, like that was the coolest thing ever, working with Astrid and JJ and Raven and all the people who were on this in the back of the scenes. We were all like just high-fiving, it was just amazing. And like the designer, so it was just a wonderful experience, and that to me was like the most beautiful thing ever.
Yeah, it really, really was. I mean, it was exactly that. It was like high-fiving everywhere, and just like, I think I did like miles of walking because Thunder Studios was actually pretty big in terms of the two different rooms being far from each other. So I was running back and forth, and like, I just remember, setting up the dress X, setting up the. I was actually, going to IKEA, buying mirrors and like all these things, and just all the whole setup. Even Hans, when he got there, he just felt like this welcoming, like, he was just setting up his mannequins, like everything. Yeah, everybody was just super in a collaborative, happy like space. It was really, really beautiful.
Yeah, like even the models, right? The models were all so sweet and excited. Like everybody was in such good spirits. Like, when Euphoria originally mentioned this event to me, one of the main things she wanted, as the showcase was love, like showing love. And you could really feel it in the entire energy of the space. I mean, everybody was in such high spirits, and they were really just coming together. I mean, we had Manny from Thread House there, and he is an incredible sustainable designer. And I mean, he had his mom there. His mom walked the runway. She used to be a runway model. And, his dream was to have his mom walk the runway again, but he wanted to make sure that it was, legit. It wasn't like some, janky runway that was set up, he wanted it to be something special. And he said that he was just like blown away by being able to give his mom this opportunity, and when I sat there interviewing him, you could see his mom just like looking at him, and she was so proud. And like, that's just another layer of love that was there. I mean, so many people brought their families and they were able to share it with them. I mean, we had our kids there. Like, it was so special. And the fashion was just unbelievable. Like, all of a sudden I'm walking around, and like Astrid said, this place is massive, right? So it's like 150,000 square feet. And all of a sudden I'm like across the building and I smell sage. And I'm like, what? Who's cleansing the space right now? And then I start walking and I go around this corner and I see this whole line of like 20 models with one guy in the front, and he has this like, sage burning like lantern, and he's leading this incredibly theatric show for this man's brand. And it was just so beautiful to see. I mean, they even had a pit bull that was painted like a tiger, and everybody was airbrushed, and it was really, really neat. I mean, people really dove into their creativity, and getting to talk to the teenagers afterwards, they were all super inspired, and they're looking forward to doing a Holotopia internship on the next, at the next event that we have. So just getting everyone involved, like the conscious collaboration between people. I mean, we made a point to bring in brands that would historically be competitors, right? Like, and we said, no, like, let's all come together, let's support each other, because whatever your app have, this app could have, and there's enough to go around. And people, at first, people were kind of like, oh, I don't know, and then they just leaned into that collaboration, and it was beautiful. So it's definitely an honor to be a part of it.
Amazing. I want to thank all of you for sharing your story with us today. I know that I feel personally inspired when it comes to now thinking about experiences in the metaverse in a different way, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about how we can all work together. I want to open up the panel for discussion right now. If anybody has any questions, please just raise your hand. Astrid, I want to ask one more thing about you that Matt told me a little bit of a little secret about you, that you are a race car driver. What is this all about?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I actually grew up. My father was a semi-pro racer, slash research scientist. So totally like these two lives, right? But I grew up going with my dad to the racetrack, and when I turned 18, I started driving, and basically coming to events all the time with my father. And I, my goal, which was fulfilled back in, let's say, 2000 and gosh, I think it was 2012 or earlier. I can't remember, but I did become an instructor. So I basically can teach people how to. I'm a high speed driving instructor, so basically that's what it's called, and that basically is certified by the Porsche Club of America. And I've been doing it a long time. I haven't in the last few years just because of pandemic and life events, but yeah, I've basically grown up around cars all my life. I love cars, and I'm a big motor sports enthusiast, and yeah, so
Truly, you are a badass indeed.
um,
That's cool. Do you have a question?
Yeah. First off, I just want to say this was an awesome space. You guys are all just very creative and powerful women, and I would love to learn from you guys and just see what you guys are doing more of. And my question actually is, how can I learn more about what you guys are doing in Holotopia? And yeah, how can I be part of that community? You guys are awesome.
yeah, I think you should definitely DM me or JJ. And I did send. Oh yeah, we've got the Holotopia website up as pinned as well, and so I think there might be a way to. I think there's an email address that you can put in there, I believe, as well, to follow. So that would be probably the best way, I think.
Yeah, you just go to the website and then sign up, and you'll become a part of the conscious creator community at the base level. And then eventually we'll end up having things that are like similar to Twitter badges once you're like a verified conscious creator. But yeah, go to the website, put your email address in, and then that'll ensure that you're getting the newsletters. And then, of course, follow Holotopia on socials.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Time Poke and Sinful, always great to be able to talk on your space and be part of this. So thank you guys as well. And yeah, I would definitely hit you up, Astrid, JJ. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much, Tang Poco. Thank you so much, Astrid, for inviting me. I have to run because I'm going to be doing a meta-human reading in Clubhouse in a couple minutes. But thank you guys so much. And Tang Poco, I can't wait to meet you in person, babe. We're going to make a lot of magic happen.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye. Good luck on your next Clubhouse. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye, JJ. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for everybody for coming. Astrid, do you have any last words before we close things off?
I was going to say hi to Creatress. I just noticed you're in the room. Hey, Creatress. Hey, KJ. Hey, Clammy. Hey, Trickster. Hey, Super Nina. I just want to say hi to everybody. Just noticed, I'm really thankful you guys are all here. And yeah, I would say definitely follow Holotopia and sign up, because I think what's happening is really, really impactful and important and groundbreaking. So definitely follow along. I'm so thankful for everybody for coming. And Tang Poco, thank you so much for having me co-host this space with you.
Thank you. It was amazing. Thanks so much for sharing your experience. And thank you, everybody, for coming. We'll see you next Sunday. Oh, wait. I do have a couple of things to say. Wait a second. Messaging. Before we go, I wanted to remind everybody that on Monday, Meta Party is having their first community fashion show. And this is something that's going to be happening once a month, which is pretty exciting. So that's happening on Monday at 11 a.m. PST, 2 p.m. EST. And I don't know a whole lot about it right now because their Twitter is explaining it at the same time as this one. So I'm hoping that I can listen to the recording for that one. But it sounds like it's just going to be a really fun fashion show highlighting a lot of the creators in Decentraland. So if you have a chance, let's go to that. After party at Dollhouse, of course. That's Monday.
Fun. That sounds exciting. I have to check
Right.
that out.
Is the after party beyond the NFT, or are we doing multiple things?
We are doing multiple things. I'll be doing the after party. That's going to be at 2 p.m. PST, so 5 p.m. EST. And then a couple hours later, we'll be doing Beyond the NFT as well. So Monday's going to be hopping at the Dollhouse for sure.
Crazy. And it's going to be a good episode for Beyond the NFT. I have KJ Walker joining us.
Oh, nice. I'm excited. I know you've wanted her for a while.
Yep, I have. And I've been bugging her for a while. And she finally said, yes, Sinful.
Finally. She's here right now. KJ, do you want to come up and say hello? That looks like a no. Okay, all right. Save it for the talk show. I get it. No problem.
Yeah, she's saving all the goodies for the talk show. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It was really nice to see you all. I'm slowly getting back into the groove of things. Astrid, thank you so much for being here and, sharing your story, as well as even bringing on some amazing guests. I was I was here just looking up all their socials and stuff, seeing how I can find out more myself.
Awesome. I'm so happy. Yeah, I'm so happy that both were able to come, because they're just both really amazing and great people to know in the space. And yeah, I'm really super happy.
Yeah, and you could tell okay, so our goal here is Web3 culture. We're trying to understand and develop the culture that the Web3 culture overall. And kind of what I was kind of thinking in my mind as they were talking about their experiences with you, Astrid, was that Astrid has been Web3 all her life. It all
It's really weird because that you say that, because I was just thinking the other day, because I spent 17 years, okay, in a luxury building a luxury orthodontic practice, and the whole entire goal of that practice, because it was, elective and everything, all of it was about community. All of it was about event planning, charitable giving. What can we do to, want people to come into our ecosystem and be dedicated like fans, basically. And it was all about the experiences we created, like skate parties, pool parties. We were doing like flash mobs. I mean, we were doing so many things, and it was all just in the name of like team building and like community building and charitable giving, and all of it. And it just reminded me of like NFT communities so much. I was just thinking of that the other day.
And I mean, just listen to Holotopia and JJ talk about how you have helped them along their journey, and like that, I was just getting chills, that because that's what it's all about. We have to build each other up. We have to, you know, I it's I noticed that like we don't always see ourselves like to our fullest potential, but the person sitting next to us might, and it is very important to just continue to, uplift those around you. Thank you, Astrid, so much for joining us today.
Absolutely, yeah, and I agree with you. Definitely, it's something that, when you see, and there's no competition. Like, that's what I love about Holotopia too. It's all collaborative. It's all, what can everybody bring that's impactful, and it makes such a beautiful experience. It really does. And it's such a different experience than, oh, this is like cutthroat, this and that. No, everybody's working together, and to make the experience the best it can be, by using everybody's strengths, and it really makes a difference.
The space is
Awesome.
blessed to have you. My apologies, Think Foco. Take it away.
I was just gonna say those are perfect words to end on, perfect words to take with us as we finish out this weekend. Thank you, Astrid. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having me, and thanks for coming, everybody.
That was a amazing Twitter space. Astrid, JJ, and Holotopia. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. Hey, Jason's here. Okay, guys, I'm gonna close down a little bit and, continue on my Sunday. thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate you guys. I'm not sure if my internet's still running to like full capacity. Like, how was picture and sound for you guys today? If anyone is in the chat. Alright guys, closing down. Thank you everyone. Take care. And I'll see you next time.